I was up here, one of those officers up there. I was armed with a rifle that day, so I didn't want to go down in the crowd.
On video, I have a man who had been sprayed by a Capitol police officer. I'm standing right beside him, and he walks up to the Capitol police officer and says, "Hey, why'd you spray me with bear spray?" You know, the guy he said he was a Vietnam veteran and he's never done anything but serve the country.
What if I told you that the boldest legal move of Donald Trump's presidency, the pardons for January 6th rioters, might be crumbling right before our eyes? What if this once thought untouchable shield could unravel, opening up a legal storm that could shake the very foundation of his presidency and possibly his future? Stay with me, because this story isn't just about pardons anymore. It's about power, legal precedents, and political consequences on a scale we've never seen before. The question is, can Trump's pardons actually survive this legal war, or is this the beginning of their collapse? Let's dive into the heart of it. On January 20th, 2021, just before leaving office, President Donald Trump issued a blanket set of pardons. But perhaps the most controversial and explosive ones were granted to several individuals involved in the January 6th Capitol riots. At the time, many saw these pardons as a strategic move designed to protect his loyal followers and potentially shield himself from accountability. These pardons, they thought, would be an untouchable escape from justice. But months later, we're now seeing a major shift in the legal landscape. For months, the Department of Justice has argued that these pardons could be a key defense for those facing criminal charges. The DOJ's position that the pardons should result in reduced sentences, dropped charges, or in some cases immunity. But there's been a serious problem. Judges just aren't buying it. Just recently, a court ruling slammed the door on a January 6th rioters' attempt to use Trump's pardon as a get-out-of-jail-free card. And this isn't an isolated case. Time and time again, judges have rejected the idea that the pardons granted by Trump should shield these individuals from punishment. But here's where things take a real turn. As legal challenges to these pardons continue, we could be looking at a far more dangerous precedent. And it's not just the rioters that are in trouble anymore. There's a growing concern that Trump himself could be dragged into the legal spotlight. Last week, a federal judge directly challenged the DOJ's interpretation of these pardons. The ruling was clear. Presidential clemency does not override the discretion of the judiciary in sentencing. In other words, a pardon doesn't automatically mean you walk free. Now, let's consider the real twist in all this. If courts continue to reject the notion that Trump's pardons were legitimate and instead rule that they were part of an obstruction effort, the ramifications could be catastrophic for the former president. Imagine this: if the courts rule that Trump issued pardons as part of a deliberate attempt to block justice or cover up wrongdoing, we could be looking at an entirely new legal battle for Trump himself. And it doesn't stop there. Legal experts are now warning that if the courts consistently push back against these pardons, the floodgates could open. We could see legal scrutiny on Trump like never before, as he could be accused of orchestrating an obstruction of justice on a massive scale. This isn't just about pardons, it's about whether the former president's actions were part of a broader, more insidious plan to influence the legal system. Before we continue, we can tell you enjoy this type of content, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. Make sure to turn on notifications too, so you never miss a new video. So, what does all of this mean for Trump's future? Well, we're standing at a crossroads. If these legal challenges continue to mount, and if the courts establish a precedent that severely limits the power of presidential pardons in cases of political violence, we could be entering a whole new phase of political and legal chaos. And let's not forget the bigger picture. This could potentially open the door to future investigations into not just the rioters, but into the former president himself. A new legal battle could be on the horizon, and if Trump loses, the consequences could be historic. This also raises a bigger question: how do pardons really function in a democracy? When a president issues a pardon, is it an act of mercy or a power play? And when does a presidential pardon cross the line from legitimate clemency to obstruction of justice? The use of presidential pardons has always been a point of contention, but with the January 6th rioters, we've reached a dangerous intersection. This is where the law and politics collide, and where Trump's boldest move could cost him dearly. So, what happens next? Can Trump's pardons survive this legal battle? Will the courts continue to reject the idea that his pardons should protect these individuals? And most importantly, could this set a dangerous precedent for future presidential actions? The legal fight is far from over, but the implications are already clear. This isn't just about pardons, it's about accountability, justice, and the future of political power in America. So, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Is this a dangerous precedent, or is the judiciary simply doing its job? Let me know what you think.